Good afternoon. I'm Gareth. I'm the founder and chief executive of Belfast Commercial Funding. It's great to be back in this wonderful city, meeting up with old friends after such a long time. On my last visit, I sought and received the help and assistance of Comptroller DiNapoli and his offices. And this visit, I'm back and I'm this week meeting with potential funders with a view to raising $100 million. I'm very pleased to have the opportunity to address you today and share a little bit of our story and the success we've had to date. As the name suggests, Belfast Commercial Funding is located in Belfast. Incredibly, we are the only commercial funder which is locally owned in Northern Ireland. All other the funders in Northern Ireland are all external to the local market. And as mainly smaller businesses discovered, when global downturns occur, that external capital and focus leaves the local market. Belfast Commercial Funding's home market isn't restricted to the north. In fact, we are the first commercial funder in Northern Ireland to deploy its capital across the island. Belfast Commercial Funding was born out of necessity. 5 years ago, we set out to deliver the largest speculative commercial real estate project in Northern Ireland's history. The Merchant Square building was planned to be an innovator in sustainability, an innovator in comfort and convenience. And it was a new landmark in Grade A office accommodation in Belfast Central Business District. However, we weren't able to find the funding. We were told by the traditional banks in Ireland that our project was too ambitious. It was too risky. It was too speculative. And we eventually found funding partners, one in London and one here in New York, Fairfield Finance. We went on site in 2018, and in 2019, November 2019, PwC, the world's largest professional services firm, took a lease on the entire building as sole tenant. Merchant Square is the largest PwC office in the UK outside of London, and it's the global home of PwC's blockchain, Google Labs, and cybersecurity businesses. In April 2021, I exited that development when an international fund acquired my interests for $120 million and a bit of change. That transaction broke local commercial real estate records. And that was a point I had great pleasure in pointing out to the bankers who had told me that we were too ambitious and too risky and too speculative. There are 3 indigenous banks in the Republic of Ireland, and there are large pools of private capital. And between the large pools of capital and the 3 indigenous banks, they cater for the vast majority of larger businesses' debt requirements. But smaller businesses struggle to raise the funding they need. And in the north, in Northern Ireland, there are 0 indigenous banks, none. So the pools of capital that are in the south generally don't come to the north. We don't have those large pools of private capital. We don't have the indigenous banks. So the vast majority of businesses genuinely struggles, particularly smaller businesses, struggle to raise funding. The funding markets in Ireland, in the north and in the south, have structurally failed smaller businesses. And that structural failure became Belfast Commercial Funding's opportunity. Whilst we were on site in Merchant Square, I issued our first loan to a small house builder in County Armagh. And if you follow the press, we have a critical shortage of housing in Ireland, north, south, and east and west. There's a critical shortage. There is a private demand for housing which can't be fulfilled, and there's a social and a public demand for housing which has huge shortfalls. There's 21 years supply of social housing required in the north and about 7 years supply in the south. So deploying funds to a small local house builder seemed like fundamentally a safe bet. Since the first loan that we wrote in 2018, we have grown the business from being a cottage industry to being a fully fledged commercial lender. We're deploying capital to businesses across the island of Ireland, enabling them to invest in the growth of their businesses, create jobs, and build prosperity. To date, we've deployed $50 million of our own capital into businesses in counties Donegal, Derry, Antrim, in the north and in the south, Kerry, Cork, and Limerick, and lots of other counties in between. Belfast Commercial Funding is a unique business in that it's Belfast born and bred. Our journey is known to many of our customers. We also struggled to raise debt to deliver our projects. We've climbed mountains and fought battles to get where we are. But our customers know us, and they know what we've done, and they know what we can do. Northern Ireland has a population of 1.9 million. The Republic of Ireland has a population of 5 million. And Great Britain has a population of 65 million, and they are our nearest markets. We've got access to the UK market, and we've got access to the totality of the EU market, and we've a lower cost base. We've a young, vibrant, well-educated, ambitious workforce, and they're determined to achieve prosperity to go along with our peace. We are very ambitious. We recently have been working on Ray mentioned the high-speed rail between Belfast and Dublin, which could economically transform Belfast and alleviate some of the pressures that Dublin's feeling in terms of housing and the labour force. Belfast Commercial Funding is the only Northern Ireland-owned commercial funder, and we're driving prosperity across the entire island of Ireland. Finally, friends, I'm Gareth Graham. I'm in New York this week meeting funding partners. And if you have any questions or any queries about the commercial opportunities and what we're involved in, please reach out and let's have a discussion. Thank you.